Stimulus payments, they continue to hit Americans' bank accounts every day. Whether you've received your payment already or you're still waiting, we know that you have questions, which is why we're talking to Mark Hensley, the Associate State Director for AARP, the North Carolina Triad region, and Scott Braddock from Scott Braddock Financial. And so if you've got a stimulus question, what you need to do is to text that question to us. Send us that 336-379-5775. Both Mark and Scott will be here until 6 o'clock tonight. Just remember, only text your questions. You cannot call them in. Okay, let's start with the first question. We're already getting lots of texts. Mark, the first question is, if I receive disability funds on a government-issued card, is that where my stimulus money will be deposited and when? Let's first tackle how it will be deposited.
Yes, according to the IRS website, however you receive your monthly support benefit is how you will also receive your stimulus payment.
Okay, so now let's get to when, because everybody really wants to know when. And we do have a graphic to put up for you so that you can actually see what we're saying when you're hearing what we're saying. Okay, so who is going to get that April 29th payout?
So SSI non-filers should begin seeing payments in early May, but Social Security survivors, disability non-filers will see their economic impact payment in their bank account starting tomorrow. So that's April the 29th. That's according to the Treasury Department. Now keep in mind, if you're expecting a check, you don't do direct deposit. It could take up to 14 days to receive that payment through the mail.
Gotcha. Okay, good to know. So again, April 29th is when you could start seeing those payments in your bank account. All right, so Scott, let's have you tackle this one here. Next year, when I do my taxes, will I need to put down the $1,200 I got from the government as income?
Well, the good news there is that no, you're not required to file this as earned income, because in effect, what it is a tax credit. This is a credit given to us, just like a child qualifying credit is given to us. So no, we are not expected to pay this money back and claim it on our tax returns for 2020.
And so this person is also asking, will my stimulus check be taxed before I get it?
No, absolutely not. You will receive the full amount that you qualify for without any taxes being taken out.
Okay, great. All right, so Mark, this question is, I filed my mom as a dependent on my taxes. She is on Social Security, and then she says, so will she be getting a stimulus check?
This is a very common question. So let me set up the scenario. Often this is a widow who has lost her greater income spouse, and because of her income status, one of her children has carried her as a dependent. In this situation, neither the Social Security recipient will receive a stimulus payment, nor will the child counting that parent as a dependent receive the $500. AARP advocated that this not happen, but this is one of those small groups where they will not receive a dependent payment or a stimulus payment.
Gotcha. Okay. And so then someone said, my son is 17, but I didn't get the $500 for him. Any idea as to why?
Would that be, well, what I would say on that is, as long as they were claimed under, by the tax filer, by herself, you know, she should have received that $500, but it could be potentially that maybe someone else claimed that child on their return, and that's why they didn't receive that $500. Possibly, or that 17-year-old may have a job themselves and claim as an independent on their return.
All right, there's also another scenario out there that possibly the person who claims the 17-year-old is on SSI. And so if they're on SSI, there's a whole different process for them. And Mark, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, that information, this story is developing, and just today there was an extension for SSI beneficiaries who do not normally file a tax return but have an eligible child. Keep in mind that 17 years of age or younger, they have until May the 5th to add that dependent into the IRS system. So the non-filer tool can be found at irs.gov, non-filer RECIP, that's REIP, And spread the word about this because we have some time for those people to receive the dependent benefit.
That's right. Okay. And so that is in the Two Wants to Know section right now, that the deadline has been extended until May the 5th for SSI beneficiaries to be able to add a dependent and get $500 for each one of their dependents. That is on the Two Wants to Know website right this very moment. So you might want to take a look at that. Hey, Scott, this question came up. If I owe state taxes but not federal taxes, will that impact my stimulus status?
It will not. Regardless if you owe taxes to the state or to the federal government, you will not be required, or you won't be reduced on your stimulus payment, which is important for folks to know, because even for folks that are behind on their student loan payments, they're still going to be entitled to the full stimulus payment without any reductions. In fact, the only reason that they would reduce or eliminate your stimulus check for any owed payments would be back child support.
Okay, so back child support is the only time, and then that would be actually put towards the child support payment, the back child support payment there.
That's my understanding.
Okay, and so Mark, this one is there anything I need to do to apply to get a stimulus check?
Well, that is a great question. If you are not filing taxes, you have not done that in 2018 or for 2019, then the IRS does not have your information. There is a place on the IRS website for non-filers to input their information, not just their name, but their banking information, so they can receive this stimulus payment.
All right, and hopefully the person who just texted me this question, if I haven't needed to file taxes since 2017, will I still receive a check? The answer is yes, but you need to go on there and you need to put your information in for those who are non-filers. And again, we have all of this information in the Two Wants to Know section. We have several different stories about stimulus checks, and in there you will find a link to the IRS page so that you're able to do all of these things. You know what, Scott, this one I think is for you. If I'm receiving unemployment benefits, will I still qualify to get a stimulus payment?
You know, that is a really good question, and I've seen it sort of go back and forth. The last word that I received on that, again, it will go by your overall income, regardless of the source, is my understanding there. So as long as they qualify based on the amount of income they have reported and filed, then they still are entitled to a stimulus check.